What's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG, WTF, LOL, BRB, and welcome to day 5 of 31 days of Royal Rumble reviews. I know this is a bit of a late one. I've been, I've been here in the Valley for a little while, a couple hours now. I'm down in the Valley now, which is the Phoenix area of Arizona. So it's about like a 2-hour drive for where I live in Arizona. And, I'm at my wrestling trainer's house right now, so it's a little noisy here. It's kind of hard to find a quiet area to actually sit down and record, so I can't even imagine how hard it is to actually try to stream the 31 days of the Royal Rumble today, but hopefully we're able to do it. Hopefully the internet here can keep up with me. If so, it'll be fun. If not, I might have to delay it till tomorrow, and if we do it tomorrow, then I'm going to have to do both those Royal Rumbles tomorrow, which I don't have a problem doing, but that'll be what we have to do there if I'm not able to get it today, but I am going to be trying. But anyway, that's not what we're here for. We're here for the actual review, because this is going to be here forever. So those people who are watching this in like the future, which is the past, well, I'm in the past. I don't want to get too much into this. Anyway, let's just jump into the damn Royal Rumble. So we're in 1992 here. Ric Flair is in the company at the time. He's the alleged world champion because he's like, you know, the WCW world champion. So that's the whole angle they're running here. We got Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan finally on commentary, the commentary team that I most remember Gorilla Monsoon being with. So no more Jesse Ventura, no more Vince McMahon, no more Tony Schiavone for the 1 year he was there, or Roddy Piper doing commentary. This time Roddy Piper's actually wrestling. So we got Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. Great chemistry between these two. It's like they click. It's like JR and King, you know, they just click. They know what they play well off each other. It's very enjoyable hearing these two on commentary whenever they are. Opening match of the night is the New Foundation, Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Owen Hart taking on the Orient Express. Once again, Orient Express opening up the show. Kato and Pat Tanaka. Pat Tanaka is the actual Asian, I found out in this match. He's the one with the long hair and everything. Whereas Kato, who is really Paul Diamond under the mask, Kato is the one, the white guy under the mask pretty much. Good match, great opening match here. It might actually, I would say it would be the best match of the night if the Royal Rumble wasn't the best match of the night, which I guess that kind of spoils the current listings for the Rumble, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But this was the best non-Rumble match, I guess. There was a couple highlights here, but you know, not too many that I really could, as of note. It was just a really enjoyable match. Mr. Fuji was definitely getting involved in here a lot. He hits Owen with the cane at one point while Tanaka's trying to get out of the ring. So you know, you got Tanaka trying to get out of the ring, and fucking Fuji just whacks Owen with the cane to pretty much get his guy out of there. There's another point where like Mr. Fuji's like holding his cane up into the turnbuckle, and they just whiplash, or you know, give him an Irish whip right into the turnbuckle, and Owen Hart just, you know, right into the cane. You hear like a big ass slap sound. I think it broke Fuji's cane, to be completely honest. You know, there's one thing also of note here. I honestly, it's kind of sad, but I haven't really watched a lot of Owen Hart's work. I think one of the only matches I have seen from him is the steel cage match, I believe it was, between him and Bret Hart, which is an excellent match in itself. But I've never really seen Owen Hart work with someone that's not named Bret. So seeing him, you know, in the ring with, you know, the Orient Express, he's so fluid, he's so crisp, he's so good. Owen Hart was such a talented wrestler, and it's such a shame that we lost him at the young age that he, you know, he did end up passing away. It's a shame that he was gone too soon, because Owen Hart, even though he was saddled with that Blue Blazer gimmick, which I don't think would have taken him to success, he was making the Blue Blazer gimmick get over, and eventually I do think he would have had, you know, gotten the drop, the gimmick, and gone back to being Owen Hart. At least I hope so. A part of me thinks like there's no way Owen Hart wouldn't have been WWF champion, but then I look at so many guys and I'm just like, well, it's kind of a surprise that that guy didn't become champion, or that guy, you know? And it's a lot of people from this era, to be honest, because, you know, Hulk Hogan had such a stranglehold on the championship. But it's hard to look back and think, like, you know, if Owen would have been so successful in the WWF if he never did pass away, because of, you know, the heat right now with that was going on with the Hart family. Like, would Owen have stuck around, or would he eventually have gone to WCW and had greener pastures over there? You know, it's always an interesting what if to think about there. But anyway, I got on a little bit of an Owen Hart tangent there. My apologies. New Foundation ends up winning the match after Jim Neidhart tosses Owen Hart onto Pat Tanaka for like a splash. 1, 2, 3. Owen and Jim, the New Foundation, end up winning the match. No title on the line or anything, just a one-on-one match. Not sure why they were fighting. There was no video package or anything, so was kind of there. I don't know why. We then jumped back to a couple of interviews. First, we have an interview with the Mountie, who will be defending his Intercontinental Championship against Roddy Piper. Interesting of note here is apparently Bret the Hitman Hart lost the Intercontinental Championship at like a house show or something to the Mountie. He was going against the doctor's orders. He ended up losing the match. I guess he was injured or something to the Mountie. Mountie then, I guess, was trying to beat down on Bret afterwards and all that. And that led to Roddy Piper coming out, chasing off the Mountie, and it led to what we have here. So I don't know how much truth there is to this, whether Bret was really injured or not. He wasn't on this show, so it could very well be true. I do know, I'm pretty sure at least, that they're building up to Bret versus Roddy Piper at this time, because this was Roddy Piper's only reign as Intercontinental Champion, and I know he loses it to Bret, so I don't know. Yeah, I think this was the WrestleMania. Either way, pretty much, I guess that's how Roddy inserted his way into here. He wasn't going to let Mountie beat down on Bret like that. After the Mountie interview, we go to an interview with Roddy Piper then. Great, passionate promo cut from Roddy Piper. He's great at cutting promos. He had one of the funniest lines of the night, because Mountie talks about how he's going to, take Piper's manhood, or he's take his kilt and all this stuff. And Roddy Piper goes on to say, "You're going to take my manhood." He's like, you came to take Piper's manhood, huh? And he goes, "Well, I came to fight. I don't know what you're here for." It was just a funny line that had me almost turn red right when he said it. After the interviews, we go ahead and jump into the WWF Intercontinental Championship match between Roddy Piper and the defending champion, the Mountie, who is out here with Jimmy Hart. Mountie, in the opening match, he's really trying to get Roddy Piper with that like stun gun taser thing he has. Eventually, the referee, he's trying to take away the taser from him because he's, it's illegal. He's trying to start the damn match. This is when Piper sneaks up behind him and just takes him down. He starts attacking him. Match starts, and we have, nice little, match going on here. It's a pretty enjoyable match. I'm definitely into this matchup. It is a little slow. Mountie, in my opinion, is not the best wrestler in the world, but Roddy Piper makes up for it. We have at one point where, like, what am I right here? Mountie. So, Roddy Piper tries to, like, shoot Piper over with his feet, pretty much. Like, he's laying on his back, like, Roddy Piper's running at him, and he's pretty much trying to, like, kick Mountie over his, like, shoulders or something, or over with his feet. And Roddy Piper sees it coming like a million miles away. He stops in his track, and he drops a very crisp and beautiful fist drop. I really enjoyed that spot. Hot Rod is, he's biting Mountie in this match. He's very aggressive and just going all out on him. There's a really cool spot right here where Mountie, he pulls himself over with the ropes. He does like the whole Shawn Michaels spot. So he's hanging from the ropes like this, and he's actually able to pull himself over. I was really surprised about that, because Mountie, I did not expect him to have that much upper body strength, but he pulls himself over the ropes, and then right when he gets back into the ropes, he goes to hit he goes to hit Roddy Piper with the axe handle, but Roddy Piper moves out of the way, and he ends up hitting Jimmy Hart, who is also on the apron, with the axe handle to take him out. Piper then is able to lock in the sleeper hold after that. I think it was actually directly after this. Locks in the sleeper hold on the Mountie, putting him to sleep to win his first and only Intercontinental Championship matchup. Jimmy Hart, he immediately after the match, he comes running in after Roddy Piper with that little taser stun gun thing. Piper, he's able to grab it out of his hand, and he starts just going at Mountie with this taser, tasing him and all that, as, he just celebrates winning the championship. So it was an enjoyable match. I enjoyed it. Not as good as the opening match, though. Definitely not the worst match on the card, though. We'll get to that when we get to that. We then go to a Hulk Hogan promo, and there wasn't much of this promo. He was just kind of rambling and going on. I really don't even remember what he was talking about. The only thing I really remember about the promo from Hulk Hogan was that it was in the bathroom. And it was very interesting, because Mean Gene walks in there and Hogan turns around, "Oh, what's up, Mean Gene?" Like, he was very suspicious, like he just got doing like a line of coke or some shit. But it was it's just a very interesting promo. It looked like the Hulk Hogan got like caught in the act or something. It was very strange. We then go to a Bushwhacker / Jamison promo. Jamison is this weird, dorky, Battle of the Nerds looking guy with the Bushwhackers. I guess he was their manager at this time. I'm not entirely sure what Jamison's whole thing is. But we're backstage, we're cutting a promo. It's very kind of interesting because it's the Bushwhackers, so you really don't understand what they're saying. Jameson on the other side, he's very enjoyable. His dorky gimmick that he does is just fun. I enjoy it a lot. He's one of the highlights of the upcoming match that we have, which is going to be between the Beverly Brothers, Beo? I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Beo and Blake Beverly, of course, being accompanied to the ring by the genius Lanny Poffo. And they're going to be taking on the Bushwhackers, Butch and Luke, with Jameson. One of the things that I noticed, and someone pointed out I was wrong, so I guess I have to look up the real name of the Ghostbusters character. Growing up, I don't really remember the Ghostbusters movies all that much, but there's a villain in the Ghostbusters movie named Zool, and I kept saying that he looks like Zool from Ghostbusters. Well, I didn't know that there's been like more than one Ghostbusters villain, so I was talking about the Ghostbusters 2 villain, and apparently his name is Bigo the Carpathian. I don't know. He looks like the villain from Ghostbusters 2. In fact, both the Beverly Brothers do, except one of them has a mustache, so he's like the mustache version of the villain from Ghostbusters 2. So there you have that. This match was very dull, and not a good match at all. This is definitely the worst match on the card. We have the Beverly Bros, they like bump into each other at one point. So the Briscoe brothers kind of like jump over them or dodge like a clothesline. I don't remember exactly the spot, but they run right into each other. But the thing that I do remember, that this is why I even wrote it down, is like they bump into each other, and then the Bushwhackers are on their knees, and they just like trip over them afterwards. We have really the only highlights of this match was what was happening on the outside of the ring. Like, Genius and Jameson were funny. Genius was always poking fun at him. In fact, he goes over to Jameson and he slaps him at one point, and Jameson's all like, "He hit me!" like in this dorkiest voice that he does. I love his gimmick. Jameson, I don't know much about, but his little dorky gimmick he's playing right now, it's a lot of fun. Beverly Bros win the match. I didn't even really, it kind of just happened out of nowhere. But yeah, they won the match. Like I said, it was a very dull match that went on for way too long. Jameson was like the main highlight of this match. In fact, he even gets his revenge on the Genius to end the match by giving him like the worst slap you've ever seen after he like winds. No, he doesn't even slap him. He like winds up a bunch of times and then kicks him in the shin, which was funny. And then he like gives him the worst kick to the back like you've ever seen. So he's a funny little dork. We then go to a Legion of Doom promo, and well, I love the LOD's promos. They're always so off the wall and just passionate and just, well, let me tell you, like, something and all this, doing their whole thing. And you got Hawk. Well, the only missed thing about this is there was no What a Rush at the end, but they are the tag team champions, and they are cutting a promo on the Naturals Disasters, pretty much saying that, it doesn't matter how big you are and all that. We've gone through people twice your size already, which I don't think is true. And we're going to do it again. We jump into the Tag Team Championship match, which is Legion of Doom defending against the Natural Disaster. Natural Disasters are Earthquake and Typhoon, and I believe Typhoon was Tugboat last year. They look pretty similar, I'm pretty sure. It was a really good match, but there's not a lot of highlights to it because it was just like a hard-hitting affair right here. Like, it was very hard-hitting. Legion of Doom and Natural Disasters were just giving it all. A lot of stiff shots being thrown, which obviously, if it's the Legion of Doom match, you're probably going to get stiffed here a couple of times. The one thing that kind of sucks here is the match ended by countout. Legion of Doom got counted out, which I was not expecting. So the Natural Disasters go over Legion of Doom. But, of course, by a countout, Legion of Doom are still the tag team champions. I don't know if this led to a match at WrestleMania. I'm not entirely sure, but I do know that after the countout loss, we do go to an interview with the Natural Disasters where, Jimmy Hart, Earthquake, Typhoon, they're all fed up. We won the match. We should be champions and all this stuff, and how they're going to get their hands on the Legion of Doom and all that. We then jump to another interview, this time with Roddy Piper, an interview with him just winning the Intercontinental Championship, and he talks about how he's got the Intercontinental Championship, and now he's going to go on to the Royal Rumble and eliminate, all 29 men like he's number one or something, to pretty much go on to be both Intercontinental and WWF champion, because the WWF Championship is on the line in the Royal Rumble here tonight. The first time it's happened, won't be the last time if we know our current history. And then we jump into yet another interview. This is going to be a little reoccurring theme before we can get to our next matchup, because there's quite a few interviews happening, and then we can jump into the actual Royal Rumble match, which is next. So we go to an interview, this time with Shawn Michaels, and what's interesting here is we just actually found out that Shawn Michaels, just a week ago, it's 1 week removed from Shawn tossing Marty Jannetty through the barbershop window. So it's interesting to see that this is kind of the early stages of Shawn Michaels still being with Sensational Sherry at this time. Of course, Shawn Michaels has a great promo. He's always been good at it, pretty much just hyping, what he did to Marty Jannetty and how he did him a favor, pretty much, because now he's not going to get beaten down by 29 other men. So there you go. And then after Shawn Michaels promo, we go to yet another promo with, this time, the alleged world champion Ric Flair, who's by himself. He mentions how he drew number 13, like he straight up tells us, yes, I drew not 13, excuse me, I drew number 3 and all of that, so we know he's going to be in there early. Not the best promo in the world, just kind of a really generic promo, but this isn't going to be the last time we see Ric Flair, because no, we jump into our pre-Royal Rumble interviews after this. Like I said, there's a lot of, promos and interviews in between the Tag Team Championship and Rumble match. And this time we go to the pre-Rumbles where a lot of people are just hyping them up. Not a lot of actual promos that I enjoyed here. Usually I like to list off the ones I enjoyed the most. There's only about 3 of them that I enjoyed. You got Macho Man Randy Savage, as always, cutting a great promo. Repo Man, to my surprise, cuts a very interesting promo. He's all like, and you know what? I'm gonna do it. Like he's like whispering into the thing. It was very interesting. And then of course Ric Flair returns for yet another promo this time, but this time he has Mr. Perfect by his side, and mostly Perfect's doing the talking for Ric, but Ric's doing talking as well. And they're pretty much just hyping up the Royal Rumble as well. But it was a good promo, better than his I drew number 3 very bland promo. So then we finally lead into the main attraction of the night, the WWF Championship on the line inside the 30-man Royal Rumble. And yes, there's 30 men in this time, not 29, because everyone came out. Number 1 was the British Bulldog, and number 2, to my surprise, was Ted DiBiase, and he had Sherry with him as well. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe Shawn Michaels didn't have Sherry. I thought he did, but I guess I was wrong. I guess DiBiase had Sherry at this time, which I still don't know why he did. I was very confused when I saw DiBiase come out with Sherry then as well. So number 1 and 2 were British Bulldog and Ted DiBiase, and like I said, it is interesting here because Ted DiBiase was number 1 last year, so it's kind of cool to see him starting off 2 Royal Rumbles back to back like that. Before we can even get to the Royal Rumble, though, I forgot to mention this. Before Bulldog and before Ted DiBiase comes out, Bobby the Brain Heenan is getting very annoyed. Like, he's like, all right, let's just start the dang thing already. Like, he's annoyed how long it's taking Fink to get through everything. He's annoyed throughout this whole thing because, Ric Flair's his guy, and he's worried because Ric's got number 3, and nobody from the, early on has ever won the Royal Rumble, DiBiase was actually the first man eliminated in the night by British Bulldog. British Bulldog actually had a pretty good showing in the early goings. I think he got 3 eliminations right away. But he eliminates DiBiase first with a Bulldog clothesline. I don't know why I called it a Bulldog clothesline, but a Bulldog clothesline according to my notes. Maybe someone said that. Tito Santana breaks Jake the Snake Roberts' record. Previously, Jake the Snake has been the first man to show up in 2, 3, and 4 back-to-back Royal Rumbles. He still is, keeps the record along with Tito Santana, who are both at 5 Rumbles apiece right now. They've appeared in all 5 Royal Rumbles, but Tito Santana is the first to do it. He is out before Jake the Snake Roberts here, so he beats the record and is the first man to enter 5 back-to-back Rumbles, with Jake the Snake tying him later on in the night. One thing I noticed about this Rumble, I could have, maybe it just, I don't know, it just, to me, it felt like the entrants were coming out a lot quicker than they usually do. I don't know if I missed it and they said like 1-minute intervals instead of 2 minutes. I don't know if I was just, it just felt like it to me, but it just really felt like we were getting a lot more people coming out as, quicker. It was interesting. Boss Man, he was out there at one point, of course, Big Boss Man out in the Rumble. He had a very interesting elimination, meaning that he goes for a crossbody elimination, kind of similar to what Marty Jannetty did a few years back. He goes for a crossbody elimination, but I forget who it was, but they end up ducking the crossbody, or he misses it, and he's supposed to pretty much go flying over the ropes, like he crossbodies and eliminates himself, but he ends up getting caught up in the ropes, so like they have to like throw him out at the same time. So it would have been a cool spot if he wasn't able to, if he was able to prevent himself from getting caught on the ropes. But Boss Man's a big guy, so it's not that surprising. There's at one point where Jake the Snake Roberts comes out, and we only have Roddy Piper and Ric Flair in the ring, so it was only them. And Roddy Piper has a sleeper hold locked in on Ric Flair in the ring, and Jake, decides, you know what, I'm just gonna sit in the corner and let you do your thing. It's smart, because why would I break it up? I'm trying to win this thing. Go ahead and do your thing. But then he, after I just to get done calling him smart, he waits for Piper to turn his back, and then he goes and attacks him. So I don't know. There were some moments here where it was like really incredible. Like, it made sense. Like, we've seen Ric Flair go to help someone try to eliminate another person. It makes sense. Why would you break up an elimination attempt? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me why they would do that. So there was moments of brilliance here where it made sense to where people were like, I'm not gonna, break up an elimination or something. But right here, it made sense for a brief seconds until he attacked them. I didn't understand that. If I was Roberts, I would just let it happen, Wait until it's my turn to fight. So there's also at one point where Randy Savage is feuding with Jake the Snake Roberts at this time, right? So he eliminates Jake the Snake Roberts, but then Randy Savage jumps over the ropes. Like, he jumps over the top rope and eliminates himself. Or at least you would think he eliminated himself. Like, he jumped over the rope. It was a clear elimination. Technically, Randy Savage should have been eliminated. But I don't know if he messed up and jumped his spot, because they were like, well, no, you have to be thrown over to be eliminated. You have to be thrown over. You can't eliminate yourself. Which, that's not true, because we saw that exact same thing happen to Andre when Jake the Snake Roberts threw in his snake and he went out. And then not even that. Like, here's my other thing. If you can't eliminate yourself, then why would someone who's eliminated in a Rumble count for the elimination? Like, it just... Obviously, Savage messed up and they had to cover for him. But Undertaker comes out, because, like, this is the time where Undertaker and Jake the Snake Roberts are teaming with each other. Undertaker, he's attacking Savage as well, trying to get him off of Jake the Snake. He eventually, gets him back in the ring, so there you have that. The later Ric Flair is in this match, by the way. Like, Ric Flair, he lasted a long time. In fact, he's the Iron Man of the match. In fact, he held the longest for a long time. In fact, I actually thought he did hold the record for the longest in the Rumble until I was corrected. I guess my history is not as well as I knew it was. But he ends up being the Iron Man of the Rumble match, I'll give you that much. But as long as he's been in this match, Bobby the Brain Heenan's freaking out. Like, he's just like, what are you doing, Rick? Like, hide under the ropes or something, because Ric Flair's just fighting people. So Bobby Heenan's freaking out the entire time Ric Flair's in this match, just hoping to God he doesn't get eliminated. We eventually get another nice elimination. This one looked crazy. So Sergeant Slaughter, I guess, is back to being Sergeant Slaughter. He's no longer just the turncoat guy, so that's cool. He comes out to a pretty big pop, but his elimination was brutal. I don't know if this was done on purpose or not, but Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, call him what you like. At the time, he's known as Sid Justice. He Irish whips Sergeant Slaughter into the corner, and Sergeant Slaughter just, I don't know if he jumped on purpose or not, but he like went flying over the corner. So he like goes right into the turnbuckle and flies over the corner and falls out of the ring, eliminating himself. And Sid just kind of stands there like, what the hell? Because I'm pretty sure Sid just was ready to like go running at him to do it, but no, Slaughter over the ropes, eliminated. He's out of there. That was a nasty spill. Like, good God, that looked harsh. There was another fun elimination here as well, where IRS is being pulled out by his tie by Roddy Piper, so he ends up getting pulled out of the Rumble by Roddy Piper via the tie. So that was I enjoyed that. That was a nice little elimination. And finally, we get to number 30 at this point, who ends up being the Warlord. But number 30 doesn't make it to the Final Four, because our Final Four of the night was Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, and Sid Justice. So a very strong Final Four here, believe it or not. Savage gets eliminated pretty early on here. I think it was by Sid. And our final three was Sid, Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan. And it's followed the same theme. Remember, it's always, every Rumble has always been one face being Hogan and like two heels, this time being Sid and Ric Flair. But they threw a loop this time. Instead of having the face come out and win, Psycho Sid, or excuse me, Sid Justice, Psycho Sid, who's that? He actually tosses Hulk Hogan over the ropes while Hogan's trying to eliminate Ric Flair. So out goes Hulk Hogan. Hogan's eliminated. Our final two are Ric Flair and Sid Justice. And Hogan, of course, you know, he's not happy about being eliminated, brother. So he eventually, you know, goes to grab, or excuse me, yeah, he grabs Sid's arm while Sid's just like pointing at him like, you better not. And he grabs Sid's arm to, you know, throw him out of the Rumble, or, you know, with Ric Flair to help throw him out of the Rumble, thus winning the Royal Rumble. Ric Flair goes on to, you know, become the WWF champion. This was the longest Rumble at the time, and I do believe that record still stands. I could be wrong there as well, but this was the longest Rumble at the time, going over well over an hour. And like I said, I do think that record still stands to this day. Hogan and Sid had to be separated at the end of the show because they're about to brawl. But yeah, Ric Flair wins the WWF Championship, his first, I believe, inside the Royal Rumble after Hogan pretty much helps him win. It was very interesting. And not only do we end with the Hogan and Sid separation, but then we go backstage once again for Ric Flair's third promo of the night with Mean Gene. Just a very passionate promo. He talks about, you know, a very iconic line from him and saying, you know, now that I've won the WWF Championship, like, this is the greatest moment of my career. Very passionate promo cut by him. He's very, you can tell Ric Flair's ecstatic. He can't take the smile off his face even when Bobby Heenan and Mr. Perfect are doing the talking. And Mean Gene has to steal the show, though, at the very end, because as he's about to, you know, sign off the show and say, all right, Rick, well, congratulations to you, or whatever he was about to say, he looks off camera and he goes, put that cigarette out, and then goes right back to cutting, the interview with Ric Flair. It was just completely random. Like, Mean Gene, just out of nowhere, put that cigarette out, and then turns it around and comes back for, just to continue the promo going on. So it was a nice little enjoyment. Mean Gene cracks me up. It's like he doesn't give a damn that he's ever on air. The freaking sign falls behind him at that SummerSlam or Survivor Series, one of the two events, and he just goes, fuck it. And now here he sees, put that cigarette out right on, TV. Like, he sounds like Mike Wazowski from fucking Monsters Inc. He's just like, put that cigarette out, so help me. Maybe I should stop cursing in these videos. Maybe that's why they keep telling me, oh, maybe it's not so suitable for advertisers, but I'm not going to censor myself. Who gives a crap? Anyway, let's pull up our ranking system here. I kind of spoiled it earlier. Oh, look at that. Endless. But as we pull up the ranking system here, we can see that the current Rumble that we just watched, the Royal Rumble 1992, has taken the top spot as the best Rumble so far. Very enjoyable Royal Rumble. A lot of fun spots. The main story being told with Ric Flair, how long-lasting he was. They definitely spaced out their stars this time around, and it's just a lot of fun spots. A lot of... It seems like they're finally getting the hang of the Rumble, and it doesn't, it helps that there's something on the line this time as well. So it feels like it's worth it more compared to the other ones, which was just, hey, here's a battle royal that if you win, you win. But there you have it. Oh, hold on. I gotta end with a sneeze like I always do. Phew! There we go. There's the sneeze. God damn that. I don't know what... Well, I think another one's coming too. Phew! Good God. There we go. That's gonna do it for this review. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor. Leave me a like. Comment your opinions on the show as well. And share this video with your friends, your Facebook, your Twitters, all the social media accounts out there. And, it helps the channel out. If you know someone who will enjoy it, go ahead and share it to them. Help your boy out here. Greatly appreciated. I will be back on hopefully tonight here to watch Day 6, 1993's Royal Rumble. Like I said, I am in the Phoenix area of Arizona right now, down for my wrestling training, so it might be a little difficult. But I think we can pull it off. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, I'll see you guys hopefully tonight. If I don't do the 1993 Rumble tonight, then tomorrow on Sunday, we will do both 93 and 94 in the same night. And that is my apologies. Either way, I will see you guys when I see you. Have a good day.